I'm Aveline and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So today we are building something that is actually a little bit different for my channel. I've never done a build like this before. I have done a more contemporary Japanese build, a tiny house, not too long ago, but I never got around to do the traditional one that I talked about in that video. However, I was asked to be a part of this collab, so we call ourselves the Sakura Squad, and it's me, then we have Leo x Freezer Bunny X, we have Sam, who's also known as Harry, and Dawn, aka Simlessy, and Fry, as you may know as Simproved. So I don't know why you clicked on my video if the others are up at this point, because honestly I'm pretty sure that mine is gonna be the worst one of the bunch, but I did try. I tried my very best. I do want to say though, I planned to make this a tiny house and it didn't turn out as a tiny house, but it's still kind of small, so it's not considered a small home either because there's way too many plateaus, or not plateaus, but like I used way too much foundation on the exterior for it to be a small home. So if you have tiny living, it won't count as, like, you won't get any benefits from the size of the house basically. But I was planning on doing a tiny house and then going a little bit crazy with the landscaping. However, it didn't turn out that way. So the floor plan is a little bit weird because I had problems placing the staircase because of the shape of the house, but I think I managed to make it work somewhat. We'll see later on, but anyways. And also, as some of you may know, interior or Japanese interior is very minimalistic, at least in my experience it is, and that is not my style at all. So I really did my best and I hope you guys like it, but it's so out of my comfort zone. But I really did enjoy making this house. It was a lot of fun. I kind of want to do more, not gonna lie. But I also want to say that I definitely focused more on the exterior, especially the landscaping compared to the interior. So we're spending a lot of time on the exterior today. Also because at first I was like, this is gonna be a tiny house, let's put it on a hill and, you know, all that stuff. Let's put a bridge to a gazebo looking thing over on the left side and we're just gonna go crazy with trees and plants and there's gonna be a lake and stuff. And then the build itself turned out too big for the lot and I couldn't move it to any of the other lots because we've already, like, this is my lot and then every other lot in this world is given to someone else. So I had to stay on this lot. I can just move it to a 40 by 30. And also I was so set on not building on a 40 by 30. I kind of want to facepalm at myself right now. But anyways, it turned out fine. I like the landscaping. Also, I do want to say, when I started the landscaping, I did not know what kind of plants they had in Japan. Like, not gonna lie, it's never really something that's crossed my mind that, of course they have different plants than we do here, but it's not really something that I've ever thought about. So I put down one plant and I was like, hold on a second, what does Japanese landscaping look like? And I looked up a lot of pictures on both Google and also Pinterest to try and get some inspiration. So normally I don't do that for landscaping, but I kind of had to this time around. And what I found out is that they have a lot of small trees. So I've taken a lot of trees and sized them down and put them around the house. So if you play in this house, you may experience them kind of going invisible, not invincible, but invisible once you zoom in on the lot itself. Well, that's how trees work, which makes sense because you don't want to play on a lot that has a big tree in the garden and then you can never see the inside of the house because it's always in the way, blocking the view and stuff, so it makes sense. But yeah, they kind of disappear once you zoom in on a house, just so you know. And also I had to fix the whole it being a floating house to begin with because I started out thinking, like I said before, I started out thinking that it was going to be on a hill and there was going to be like crazy landscaping and it was going to be super small and stuff, but it didn't turn out that way. And suddenly, because I don't like when the back of the build looks weird, I like when the whole lot kind of meshes in, or how do you say that? That it like fits the surroundings. So I don't want the back of the build to have a super slanted hill or anything like that. I want it to just blend in with the surroundings. That's what I mean. So I decided to not make a floating house and make a hill that way and just put a foundation underneath. So I kind of had to move it back to the first floor instead of having it on the second floor. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. If you know how to make a floating house, by the way, I've done a tutorial on that, so just want to say, but if you know how to make a floating house, you'll get what I mean with it being on the ground floor now instead of on the second floor. And yeah, but anyways, it was a lot of fun building this house, and I kind of want to make more, so I hope you guys like this one. We will see though. Yeah, it's the first Japanese or traditional Japanese house that I've built, so please don't be too harsh on me. If I didn't get every single detail right, like, for example, all the pictures that I saw, they had sort of not necessarily big rooms, but they were always spacious because they didn't have a lot of furniture in them. And because the house is so small, I wasn't able to, for example, dedicate an entire room to just the dining room and there just being like this table and I don't want to, do you call them pillows? Because they look like pillows, but they might have a special word. I don't really know, or like a specific word for them. I don't know, so let me know if you know anything about that. But I couldn't do that, for example. I couldn't give them a dedicated living room either. I couldn't do the genkan, is that what it's called? The little step in when you get in the front door and you have to take off your shoes. I couldn't do that either because you can't do the indent or like, it's sort of like sunken into the ground, that area. You can't do that in The Sims unless you remove the foundation. And because this house is technically on a hill and not on a very low foundation, I couldn't do that either. But I may try to do something like that in the future. I don't know. Not gonna promise, but I'm definitely intrigued. Also, at some point, I tried to put the gazebo on a lake. So I tried to expand the pond so it would be under the lake. And I also changed the foundation to one of the island living ones. So it would look like it's on stilts in the lake. But because it's not proper water, it doesn't work that way. You can't do that with the pond tool, unfortunately. I wish you could, because that would be pretty cool, I think. You could do a lot of beautiful landscaping if you had the opportunity to do that. But it would give us a lot more creative freedom as well. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So it's just on a sort of normal foundation. I was also, I think for the gazebo, slightly inspired by a picture that I saw on Google, possibly. I kind of had to normally I just stay to Pinterest most of the time, or real estate websites. I don't often go on Google, but for this house in particular, I did have, or for this house specifically, I did have to go on Google quite a lot to like search up things. Apparently Pinterest does not have a lot of Japanese house inspiration. Don't know what that's about. Also, a lot of the time on Pinterest, when I was searching for Japanese interior, Scandinavian interior would turn up and I'm like, okay, sure. They kind of look like newer Japanese interior does look a little bit like modern Scandinavian interior, but it's not the exact same. I do like both very much, obviously, as I'm Scandinavian. I'm biased a little bit, but they don't look the same at like close, but not exactly. So that was a little bit frustrating too. Like, just if I'm searching for Japanese interior, give me Japanese interior. Don't give me Scandinavian interior. I know what that looks like already. I want to know what the other thing looks like. So, but anyways, it turned out fine. I kind of want to know what the other ones are building. I think Leo is building a temple or castle. What did he say he was building? Something big where I was like, okay, you do that. I'm gonna stick to the tiny house. Good luck. He'll probably pull it off. You know how he is. But for the other ones, I don't really know. I think Fry's building on a bigger house too, but I've not seen the end result of her building process either. I saw a little bit once she'd gotten the shell finished and stuff, but I've not seen the rest. No idea what Dawn is doing. And as for Harry, I think she built a small home as well, so I'm gonna check out the other ones. Usually I don't watch speed builds, but I feel like I will definitely check out these ones. And also I'll make sure to link to all of their videos in the description down below. So once they all have their videos up on YouTube, you can find them in the description. Or if you're already subscribed to them, you can probably find them in your subscription boxes, but you know, just in case. So I forgot to say this at the start of the video, but it is for 2 Sims. However, you could also just have 1 Sim sleeping here or living here if you want to. And it has 1 bathroom. There is a very small kitchen without a sink. So the sink is in the bathroom, but it makes sense once you see the floor plan. And there is a laundry room on the second floor. I decided to give them a laundry room because there is a very, very narrow room on the second floor. It has something to do with the floor planning issues that I told you guys about before. So you'll see that in just a little bit. And other than that, they have the dining area and also the living room area in one room, which is very spacious, that's the right word. And there's not a lot of clutter in there and stuff, which goes against my instincts completely, but I really tried my best to just reel it in, you know, like just control myself. So yeah, but that's basically it. Also, this is built on a 30 by 20 and we are technically, I'm actually a little bit embarrassed that I didn't say this at the start of the video because I probably should have, but we are technically in Forgotten Hollow. However, Nando has made a mod that turns Forgotten Hollow into a Japan-inspired world. So it's called Sakura Hills, or Sakura Hills. I'm not really sure on how to pronounce it. Trying my best. But yeah, it's basically a mod. I don't use mods when building or just in general. I don't use mods or CC or anything. But I am very intrigued and interested in Japan, so I think it's kind of cool actually. There is a lot of pink trees around that are very, very pink. I think he slightly changed the lighting in this world as well. But as someone who's not really super fond of Forgotten Hollow, I never built there. My Forgotten Hollow in my save file is pretty much empty. I don't know when I'll finish the houses, or there's one house I think, but it's just not my favorite world to build in. It's kind of, I love horror movies, but I don't like to build in worlds that are dark like that. It kind of annoys me a little bit. I like sunlight in The Sims. Not in real life because I melt in the sun, but in The Sims, I love sunlight. So it's nice to see this world turned into something that I'm a little bit more fond of compared to dark and gloomy Forgotten Hollow. So it's pretty light and playful, or bright and playful and colorful as it is with the mod in. I might keep the mod just for a little bit and maybe possibly build a couple more houses here. Not necessarily Japan inspired, but I'm not really set on it, so I don't fully know. I might not, we will see. But it's definitely cute. I think the world looks a lot cuter like this. I will say though, as a builder, it's nice to have more sunlight, but as someone who is a builder who uploads speed builds and has to make thumbnails, it's incredibly frustrating that there's a row of trees in front of every single lot. You can't really see it because I don't show it at any point, because why would I block my view of the build? But it makes it very difficult to take screenshots or like thumbnail screenshots. If you've ever had to build in Brindleton Bay, you have the same issue with either trees in the way or lampposts. So basically sometimes you may have to leave a lamppost in your thumbnail picture. It's the same kind of situation here, but it happens in a lot of the worlds. Both in Newcrest, you have trees in front of the lots as well. Also in Willow Creek as well, there's a couple of trees in the way, so it's not just Brindleton Bay or Sakura Hills. It happens in a lot of the different worlds. It's just something that, why would they take that into consideration when designing the worlds? So they'd be good for speed builders taking pictures and stuff. I kind of understand it, but it's a frustrating thing when you're trying to take pretty screenshots. So anyways, I think we're almost done with the landscaping by now. Actually, I do want to say that all of the plants pretty much are from the normal catalog, so you can find them. I've just sized them up or down. Mostly down because, you know, the trees and stuff that I was talking about before. I really hope that it looks somewhat correct, but if it doesn't, then that's just that. And also the rocks on the path up to the house, those are from, because I get questions about those every single time I use them. They are from the World Objects catalog, so you can see all the cheats that I use in the description down below. I always leave them there. They're basically just copy paste it from one video to the next, so they're always there. And if you use, what is it, bb.showhiddenobjects followed by bb.showliveeditobjects, I don't remember what it's called, but it's one of the cheats underneath the bb.showhiddenobjects. If you use that one, it has something like live objects in it, you will be able to find the rocks here. They are base game, so they're not from... You can find them if you filter according to base game. So if you filter out all the other packs, if you have a lot of packs, it might be a little bit difficult if you don't use the filter option. So just use the filter option, press base game, and they should be there somewhere in the middle. They're lovely. I like them a lot because they have a little bit more texture on them compared to the rugs that we got from Get Together, I think. The ones that are... They look like rock pathing, but they're rugs. I don't really know how to explain it, but they're from Get Together. So these ones have more texture to them, have more shape to them, and I've been using them a lot lately, but I get questions about them every single time, so I thought I would just explain where they're from. So anyways, for the interior, I really tried my best. Like, don't come for me, you know? I really did my best. I think if I do another Japan-inspired house at some point, I would definitely do my best to make sure that it's not open planned like this, and they would also get a proper kitchen as well, because this kitchen is basically a 3-tile kitchen. But as you can see, the house itself is super small. There's not a lot of tiles to work with, and on top of that, you know, the whole minimalism and also space. Every room has to be spacious, so not a lot of furniture. It just goes against everything that I normally do. But I did my best, and I really want to try again with a more normal-sized house, but we will see. Let me know if that's something you want to see. I will definitely consider it, because I love a good challenge, even though I was slightly terrified / nervous to do this one. I do love a good challenge, so let me know. I also like to learn about different styles so that I don't necessarily just decorate in the same style over and over, even though I've been doing that a lot lately, but I still like to learn about different styles, so I'm definitely up for that. But anyways, I actually started this house at 20 minutes to 1 yesterday, so past midnight. I don't know what I was doing, what is wrong with me, but I had to stay up until, because the collab is today, I had to stay up until, when did I go to bed? I think 4:45 or something, and I finished the house yesterday or today, so I managed to do the interior today. I didn't want to let my collab mates down, so I was set on finishing it on time, but I'm definitely gonna go to bed tonight and just pass out because I'm exhausted. But it was worth it, okay? It was worth it. So I did try to clutter up the shelving, it's not a shelving unit, the bookcase there a little bit, so I added one vase, whatever that thing is called. It's from Island Living. I've been using that one quite a lot lately, and then I also added a plant, and also I don't think they actually have access to that bookcase. I probably should have playtested the bookcase, but I didn't, unfortunately. However, if it doesn't work, there is a little clutter book thing, the one from Tiny Living. You can move it to another surface, and if you have your Sims click on the big bookcase and, you know, you choose read something or whatever, they'll actually go to the closest available bookcase instead. That is functional. That's not blocked by anything, so luckily the game works like that. That's why I sometimes cover up bookcases with like couches or chairs and stuff, because they'll always just go to the nearest one anyways. At least it does in my game. I don't know if it does that in your game, but it does in mine. So, like I said, if it doesn't work, you can just pick up that clutter item and place it on another surface and it should be fine. And the bedroom was done so quickly, but it's because there's barely any furniture up there. I did decide to put in a couple of candles because I looked at some different pictures and it looked like they put a lot of candles here. Not necessarily a lot, but because everything is minimalistic still. So there's not a lot of candles, not a lot of clutter, so on and so on. But it looked like candles on bedside tables is a thing, so I decided to put a couple of candles up there. Super excited about that because I like candles a lot, and it let me clutter just a little bit, just like a tiny bit. So at the start, I was set on making this gazebo into a dining area, but I actually decided to turn it into a meditation area instead. So they have a meditation stool there, and also two, what are they called, yoga mats as well. I thought it would be really nice. Honestly, I feel like this area is very tranquil, if that's the right way to say it. Just very chill and relaxing and stuff. So anyways, but yeah, that is about it. So I hope you guys like this house. If you do, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. Remember to check out the other builds in this collab. They should all be linked to in the description down below if they're all up by now, and if they're not, they will be there at some point. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.
I think I'm losing it. Come on, I'm telling you, I think we should slow it down. Cold out when you turn your back on me. Feels like we've reached the point of no return now. I don't know how you got me weak. I should leave this together. Your body's calling me for real. My love's like an enemy. Stay awake till the morning. I hate when you leave me. I hate when I'm lonely.